Okay, we're going to work with the rotation tool. I have already opened up a new document and I have saved it as rotation tool. Use your STEM lab number and your last name in there. All right, let's get going. First thing we're going to do is make an object for us to rotate. So I'm going to select the rectangle tool and I'm going to make a rectangle. Okay. Then I'm going to use the push-pull tool. We're going to pull this up and make kind of a block, if you will. And then I'm going to go back to my pointer tool. I'm going to triple click to select everything, and I'm going to make it a group. We now have an object for us to work with. Now, what we're going to do is make a bunch of copies of this object. There are many different ways to do that. I can right click and go copy and then hit paste and it'll give me another one. Or I can come to the move tool. I can hold down the control key as it says down here at the bottom. If I hold down the control key, it will let me copy. So I'm going to hold down the control key and move, and sometimes it doesn't work. See if you hit the little control key and let go. Now, oops, control key, move, control key, puts a little plus there and lets me move. So now I have a whole bunch of these cubes to work, these blocks to work with. What we're going to do is we're going to spell some letters and rotate these around so that we get some practice on rotating our blocks. So let's get to the rotation tool and get the rotation tools over here on the right. And we're going to come over here and we're going to rotate this block. What you need to know about the rotation tool is that it likes to rotate around the axes. Notice it's blue, that's rotating around this blue axis. When it's green, it's rotating around this green axis, and when it's red, it'll rotate around the red axis. If it's not where you want it to be, see how it's going red there and it's kind of jumping around? I use the arrow keys on my keyboard. I'm just using the right arrow key, and that's letting me toggle between all the different ones. I use the up, the right, the down. That lets me find which way I want to go. Why is this important? Well, if I want to rotate this object right here and tilt it upward, what I need to do is simply find the endpoint. Before I click anything, I need to turn this so that it'll go around a different axis. So I'm going to just choose this one right here. I'm going to click once to select the corner. That's just going to give me like the pivot point. Like in basketball, when you stop moving, you got to plant one foot, and that's the pivot point. That's your first click. Now watch my second click. I'm going to come up to this next part, and this was what lets me move the tool. Now, you probably noticed that when I did that, it started moving this. That's because this is the one that's selected. So first thing you need to do is select, then rotate. So you come over here to the rotate tool. I'm going to bring it here and get, arrow tool to get around the red. Select my pivot point, come up here, and you'll see it start to move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up, but I'm actually going to give it a number. I'm going to type in 4, 5 and hit enter. And you'll see I've moved it at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the next block. I'm going to move the next block. I'm going to come over here, but remember the first thing to do is select. You're going to select, rotate, and then you're going to kind of move and align. So I'm going to select this one. We're going to rotate it. I'm going to come to the rotate tool. I'm going to come down here. Up, it won't turn, so I'm going to use my arrow keys. I want it to go to the red one. There, set my pivot point. Click here. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to type in 4, 5, hit enter, and I have rotated that 45. It looks like I made a copy underneath, doesn't it? So now what I'm going to do is while this is still selected, I'm going to come to the move tool. I'm going to come and grab the corner, and I'm going to move it and snap it right here to this corner. I'm going to rotate a little bit so it knows to snap. I don't think I grabbed the corner. Let's grab it again. See how I can snap endpoint to endpoint? Awesome. We got another one we're going to turn. I'm going to come to my rotate tool, come over here. Oh, it already snapped red for me. Pivot point, turn. I didn't select. Control Z to undo. Mr. McGuire did not select it. I'm going to click here to select it first. Come here to select my pivot point. Come up and rotate. I'm going to rotate it up 45 degrees and hit enter. And now I'm going to grab the bottom corner here. There's the corner. And I'm going to snap it right here to this corner right here. And now I kind of have an S. Now what we're going to do is we're going to finish off this activity with spelling out and rotating the word STEM. So I'm going to come back over here. First I select, then I rotate, pivot point, arrow keys, up 90 degrees, so it's straight up and down. I'm going to use my move tool. Let's move this thing over here. And then this one, I can just move. I'm going to click on here. But with the move tool, I'm going to grab the center and I'm going to move that midpoint so it snaps right there. I got ST. Let's get the next one. I need more blocks. So to get more blocks, I can copy this guy and I can paste. Let's get our letter E. I'm going to pan over here. I'm going to make another copy. I can either hit the control key with the move. I'm going to make a few more. Control key, move, control key, move. So now look at all these copies. I'm going to rotate one of these for the back side of the M. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to rotate. Looks like I'm using this axis. We're going to come here for my pivot point. This to move. We're going to snap it up to 90. Oh, look, it just snapped to 90 for me. Boop, 90. I'm going, and then I have to click again to set it. Now I'm going to use my move tool. I'm going to grab that corner and snap it to that corner. Now these guys should just be a simple move. I'm going to go ahead and select my arrow key, select this guy, and we're going to use the move tool. Let's go ahead and snap him here. And let's move this guy. Select this guy. We're going to use our move tool. And we're going to stick him right there on the end. STE. Now we need an M. So let's go ahead and paste another one of those blocks. I know we're going to need some more, so let's hit the control key, move it out. I'm going to need 4 more for the letter M. So I need 2 more. We're going to go hit the control key. We're going to move that out. Control key, move that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate this letter right here. I got to first select it. So we click on here. We go to our rotate tool. And then I hit my arrow keys. Click, click, rotate it 90. There it is. I'm going to click, I need to hit my space bar to get the arrow key. We're going to rotate this guy. We need to use our arrow keys to switch. I want this at 45. We're going to move this guy. Let's do our move. Let's move this guy right here. Let him snap. We're going to come select this guy. Oops. Control Z to undo that. I got to select him first. There we go. We're going to do our rotate tool. We're going to come here and go click, click, and we're going to move him up 45. I'm going to do my move tool. I'm going to select right here and snap those guys together. And then we're almost done. I'm going to rotate this guy, and we're going to go select him first. We're going to go to the rotate tool. Rotate, I want to rotate him. Hold on one second. Rotate him 90 degrees. Try that again. Rotate, rotate 90. And then I'm going to do the move tool. We're going to snap corner to corner. And we are rocking and roll. So we've got the word STEM. Now what I'd like you to do is put your initials after it. So you should be able to do STEM for your practice, and then I want 2 letters, first initial, first name, first initial, your last name, and you spell that out. And in the end, you should have a screenshot that shows your title and STEM and your initials. That is the rotate tool.